Hello everybody, and welcome to the Bulldog Business Show. This is just one way we keep up with all of the great things that are happening in the MSU College of Business. We also, of course, keep you updated on our social media platforms. So please go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and on X. We also want to welcome in our podcast audience. Thank you for listening in with us. So coming up, it's the first for the College of Business. We've officially launched executive education. We're going to hear from our Associate Dean of Executive Programs and of representatives from the company. That is going to come up shortly, but first let's get into our business bites for today. Startup 2026 is officially in the books. The Center for Entrepreneurship and Outreach annual business plan competition brought some 50 incredible startups to Starkville to pitch their business plans and to compete for monetary prizes. They were all very, very impressive. It was truly innovation in action. There was a category for college students from all over the United States, and then we had a Mississippi-made competition, which was open to all startups based here in the state of Mississippi. Combined, company founders walked away with more than $60,000 to help grow their businesses. So we look forward to next year with these startups again. April's been busy, or was very busy for us. We also hosted our 38th annual Insurance Day. We're grateful to all of our sponsors and our guest speakers, industry professionals, and the RMI program for making this such an incredible event here on our campus. Participants discussed everything from AI to ethics and the emerging industry issues. They even enjoyed a little baseball and some golf while they were here. It was a great few days of connection, insight, and fun. Another event we look forward to every year in the College of Business. All right, so this is what it means to experience Bulldog Business. In March, the College of Business partnered with Ergon Incorporated to host a 4-day Venture Catalyst workshop here in Starkville. There were interactive sessions, case discussions, pitch development exercises, all of this to work with members of Ergon's team from a wide range of disciplines from engineering to marketing. Dr. Parker Ellen is our Associate Dean for Research and Executive Programs, and he's joining us now to share a little bit more about the program, and then we're going to get talking about Ergon in a moment. But Dr. Ellen, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get into talking about executive education, these programs. What exactly is that?
So executive education can span a wide variety of things. When people ask about it, they think about an executive MBA. What we're really talking about here, and our focus currently in the College of Business, is on sort of bespoke, custom executive programming.
Mm-hmm. And we recently partnered with Ergon Incorporated. How did this partnership come to be?
We did. So the head of their HR for one of their divisions reached out, Richard Kostal, and told us that he was looking, through conversations with their executives, looking to upskill a little bit in innovation and commercialization capabilities. Described what they wanted, that it was important for them to be on campus and experience something a little bit different outside of the office, and asked if we would come up with a proposal and put together a 3 to 4 day workshop for them. So I went and worked with Dr. Nick Pashos, the Center for Entrepreneurship Director, and came up with a compressed version of a long startup process that we could take them through and end it with a pitch competition to let them practice their new developed skills.
So talk about the process of tailoring this for Ergon, because it could look different for a different organization.
Absolutely. And so as I mentioned before, I was working with our Entrepreneurship Center about this. That's typically something that takes startups, a process they take startups through, and we're taking an actual company through. They're not wanting their employees to go out and start new businesses.
Right.
They want them to be innovative in-house. So it was important to tailor those ideas and those skills to how they could be used within the company and develop new ideas and pitch new ideas to the executives within the companies. So we had several calls, several email exchanges back and forth to really hone in on what it was they were looking for, what the experience would be like while they were here in Starkville.
And the great thing about this, it wasn't just, sitting in a classroom setting all day and just hearing lectures. It was interactive. They were intimately involved in what was going on.
It was. They were working through a business model canvas, so they were working on their own, developing things, coming back, getting feedback. In addition to Dr. Pashos, Dr. Mike Brazil and Dr. Jennifer Sexton took them through sessions on how to develop the pitches, how to tell a story about the idea, and also to talk a little bit about why ideas fail and get them thinking about things that they might not be thinking about.
This, by and large, I believe everybody feels like it was a success from our end, from Ergon's end, and we're going to hear from Ergon in just a moment. Talk about the success of the program and what did you learn from it? Is there anything we need to do differently?
I don't know if there's anything we need to do differently. 4 days is a lot. I'd say 3 days is probably more of a sweet spot if we learned anything. I was really pleased with the energy from the group throughout the time. I'd said multiple times throughout the event that I wanted this to be a proof of concept to prove that we could do it. I think the faculty have left energized. They loved working with outside companies in addition to the traditional students that we have as well. I think the dean was pleased that we've showed our expertise and let people experience Bulldog business in a little bit different way. And hopefully, as you'll hear from Ergon, that they were pleased with what they walked away with as well.
You talk about the fact that one of the things they really wanted was to be in Starkville on campus. What do you think is the benefit of that? Because we could have done all of this and taken it to Ergon, right?
It is. I think, as you may hear from them, it was important to reward them with a trip as well, something that they could experience and walk away from. But for a lot of them, they haven't been in a classroom setting in quite some time, and some of them were not College of Business students, and some of them were not Mississippi State students when they were going through college. So it gave them an opportunity to come and sit in our MBA classroom, in addition to some other venues on campus, and see and sort of relive what that college experience was like.
And as I understand it, they took in some baseball, right?
They did. We strategically timed it where there was a Tuesday night game, and we took them up onto the rooftop and let them experience. A little cold at the end of February, but that also gave them a good excuse to buy some sweatshirts and some other swag to stay warm.
Absolutely. Well, it was a success, and we look forward to working with more businesses. We're going to talk to Ergon here on the other side of this break. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us.
At Mississippi State University, business isn't just learned, it's lived. From hands-on projects to real-world partnerships, our students don't just prepare for the future, they help shape it. They turn ideas into impact through experiential learning and entrepreneurship. At Mississippi State, our students gain the skills, confidence, and connections to lead, experience Bulldog business, and build the future you imagine.
Okay, we're back, everybody. Richard Kostal is joining us right now. He's the Human Resources Director for Ergon, and we're really excited about hearing the reaction from Ergon to this program they went through. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, Richard, let's just talk, first of all, what was the reaction from all of your team that was here in Starkville for those 4 days to this program?
They really enjoyed it. So what we were looking for were to reinforce some capabilities as a business that are really important for us. We had a pretty diverse group, so we had folks from engineering backgrounds, business backgrounds, and support roles. And it's not just folks from our headquarters in Flowood, Mississippi, but also folks that work out of our Asia office, our Latin American office, and European office. So get everyone into one place for a workshop or for a week happens every now and then. It takes a lot of effort. So the experience has to be top notch, and I think that's what they received.
So I want to take a step back real fast for people who may not know or be familiar with Ergon.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the company.
So Ergon is a privately held company that's been around for over 75 years. We have around 4,700 employees. Our main businesses are in oil and gas, paving, coating, and resources, which is asphalt and emulsion cells, and then logistics businesses. So our global headquarters is in Flowood, Mississippi, outside of Jackson, but we sell into 90 different countries around the world.
So you had people from lots of different disciplines, if you will, within the company. So from like a macro level, what were you hoping that they would gain from all of this?
So part of it is the networking. Again, having opportunities to have everyone, a diverse group in one side is really important. In this, really, it's Monday morning ready skills. So they took Monday morning ready skills in an innovative experience where they can network, they can learn off each other. They're growing their relationships closer just because the way the interactions are, where you spend a lot of time with small teams learning new skills and practicing. It's a safe environment for them to practice. And then Monday morning, they can implement these skills right away into their normal day-to-day business.
I think as human beings, when we go through a brand new experience, one thing we're going to do after we leave is go and talk about it, like how they, you know, what was the reaction. So what are you hearing from the folks that came to Starkville?
The anecdotal conversations are great. We also did a survey, right? And that's part of how we get better. We're going to do iterations, and we're going to make it a little bit better. So timing was obviously one that we could talk about. We can get a little bit tighter, but overall, people really enjoyed the experience. Again, we had folks from our office in Germany, and they couldn't stop talking about Mississippi State, and talking about, can I get a graduate degree? Like, how do I enroll?
I think we probably can arrange that. The guy who can help us here.
So all the participants were really grateful and they really enjoyed it. Yeah.
You talk about, being Monday morning ready, getting some
Yeah.
skills so they can go right back. So what do you think are some important things they gleaned that right away we can start doing this, we can change this, we can tweak this?
I think the framework of how to structure an idea or a concept, and then the personal storytelling for the elevator pitch. We are a very relationship-based organization, so typically the folks in the meeting room that you're talking to and pitch to, pretty closely, so that makes it a little bit easier. But the idea of creating a story and selling an emotion or selling a solution to a complex problem, I think those are things they can take day one and start thinking about how they approach a customer, how they approach a vendor, how they approach their internal stakeholders with new ideas.
It sounds to me a lot of this, and these are smart people who know what they're doing in their areas, but a lot of this is sort of soft skills that maybe necessarily you don't get when you're in college, but when you sort of have to develop them when you get out into the workforce.
Yeah, so the HR person, I would say they're not soft skills, but they're essential skills. These are competencies.
I love that, essential
These
skills.
are competencies that you build off of, and those competencies around learning on the fly and drive for results and problem solving, those are things that scale into an executive role. From you need them day one as an entry level engineer or business analyst or whatever that is, but those scale with you as you go. So those skills, developing those skills are the most important because they help you be successful in your career.
I asked Dr. Ellen about bringing them to Starkville rather than, we could have taken it to Flowood. What was the benefit from your side of coming here and doing it?
Well, it's a great environment. We really leaned into the college experience as well. If you're in your corporate office, people get distracted. They still get the phone calls and the emails. So having people in an environment that is unique, that is going to be is going to last with them for a long time, that experience is hard to replicate. So having people, relationships being developed over experiences in a really cool environment, that's the most impactful.
And it sort of feels like an exploration. So you stay plugged in because you don't want to miss anything in a new opportunity like this. If there was a company out there sort of thinking about an executive ed program and how it could benefit them, what would your pitch be to them?
Well, being on campus is really powerful. And I think sometimes when you think about a bespoke type of offering or something that's super aligned to your skills, it's going to be a lot of extra work away from your day job. But the team from the business school really took the idea from at a high level that we presented, and we really, with their expertise, were able to align really what the deliverables would be for the meeting, for the workshop. And so it became a white glove experience where we showed up, we were ready. The folks were able to focus on the training itself and not worry about the logistics or everything going on behind the scenes. So it was a really cool experience for them.
Well, I think it turned out to be really a perfect partnership, and we were so glad to be able to kick it off with Ergon. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. All right, before we go, as always, we have to remind you about Club 1915. It's one way, if you're watching us, that you can join there on the QR code. Scan it, and it will take you directly to the site to find out more about Club 1915. If you're listening on the podcast, the website is business.mstate.edu/club1915. Continue to help us help our students here in the College of Business through your participation. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time for the Bulldog Business Show.